Hello, hey there. I wanted to touch base on flag worship and dancing in the front when we are up there worshiping. Okay, so let me put the flags down real quick. So a lot of times if there's nobody up there, right, you can be free and move however you want to. But when somebody comes up, you're kind of mindful about that and allowing them to come in and pray and worship or whatever and move accordingly. Even whenever there's several of us up there in one of the quarters. So we've been spreading out a little bit more lately, which is good. And but even be mindful of like when we're doing our spins and stuff like that, to make sure that we're not like bumping into each other, hitting each other, which that's all part of dance. So if you're going to, like, let me think about like a dancing on stage, and when you're up there, we look at our spacing so that way you know who's where. And so I know when we're up there worshiping, so going back to worship, when we're up there worshiping, we close our eyes a lot, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want you to be aware that whenever we're making a movement, before you spin, before you do any of that, to open your eyes and make sure nobody's there. So we don't want to hit our neighbor or anything like that. Same thing with the flags. Now there's different flags. This one has a rod there, which is really hard. So if I hit myself, it's gonna hurt. But there are some that have flex rods, which are really nice, which are a lot easier to move around and not as heavy, and will hurt less if somebody got hit with it. But same thing with this as well. So we move accordingly. I'm hitting my light. We move, if nobody's around us, we probably take up more space, right? And but when we see somebody come in, like instead of doing a movement like this or like this, right? Maybe we can move our movement like here or up. Okay? So that way we don't hit anybody. Also, I think it would just be wise that if pastor is up there and they ask for prayer or anybody to come up, if you're up there with the flags worshiping, to kind of step to the side so that way people can come in and pray and worship. But if you're up there and you want prayer, then of course you do that. And if you still want to be up there with the flag, which is fine, but your movements need to be a little bit more smaller, just so that way people around you can come. And I don't want anybody to ever feel like they can't come to the front because we're in the way. Remember, I said this before, like, I hope that the front gets so busy that, that there's plenty of people out there. But, there's really the whole room to worship. We can always worship on the side walls. We can always worship in the back. Like, it doesn't always have to be in the front. I like the front personally because I like to hear the music and I like to just be in it. But that's some things that I wanted to touch base on. Same thing with movement with your flags. Like if you're moving this way, like you just need to like open your eyes and look and see who's around you before you do any crazy movement. Not crazy movements, but you know what I mean. Like sometimes when the spirit is hitting, we also have to be mindful. I know, like when I see Lindsay and she's going to town, I'll step back to let her worship because I see the spirit is on her. So those are just some things that I want to touch base since we haven't been able to get together. But I love you and I miss you. I'll talk to you later.